So the title is a bit dramatic, but let me explain. I need to tell you the story from two perspectives for you to really understand it. I was born in Zimbabwe and I remember living with my mum at the time, and then I went and I lived with my aunt and uncle, and then all of a sudden I moved to South Africa to live with my dad. And growing up, I really resented everyone, basically, because I just wanted to be with my mum. I thought everyone was essentially trying to keep me away from my mum. I just had built up a lot of anger inside of me, which I didn't realize. I kind of felt out of place because I always used to see my friends and the relationships that they would have with their mums and the things that they would talk about with their mum, and I was so incredibly jealous because that's all I wanted my entire life, essentially. I realized that I sort of had like a knack for making people laugh and putting on like funny accents and things like that. Looking back on it now, I just kind of feel like I did whatever I could to get any form of praise because I was just missing that so much. I feel like over lockdown, everyone has kind of had an epiphany or an aha moment. But it was that way for me anyway. I kind of realized that the things that I do and the way that I am is really all comes down to how I feel completely abandoned by my mum. It just all kind of came to a head in lockdown, and I had a huge conversation with my mum. I wanted to understand what happened, why we didn't have a relationship. She was essentially just not receptive to that, and she wasn't necessarily the nicest in the tone that it was delivered in as well. It was one of the hardest moments of my life, I think, when I realized that I really wasn't going to have a relationship with her. And around the same time, I started opening up to my dad about the relationship that I have with my mum and how it's made me feel. My parents' relationship didn't work out, and they split up. It basically got to a point where I was living with my mum and she couldn't take care of me anymore. She left me at my aunt and uncle's house and basically said, I can't do this anymore. And my dad did everything he could to move me to South Africa so I could get a better education, so that I could be taken care of. And had I known that, I don't feel like I would have held on to so much anger growing up. I just say all this to say that sometimes the people who you think are the ones that you need are the ones that you never needed in the first place. And there are so many other people in your life that value you and genuinely want to have a relationship with you. I know that maybe a lot of you may not be in the position that I'm in, but for me, Mother's Day is a day that brings up a lot of anxiety, a lot of worrying, and I just really I really felt an urge to film this video for anyone who is going through anything similar. And obviously, this is not the whole entire story, but I just really wanted to share a little portion of my life and help anyone that I can, because I wish that I had seen a video like this growing up. The most important thing is, if you have parental figures in your life, please, 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 please talk to them. Especially young Black people, I think it's quite common for us to be told to kind of hide our emotions. Talking about emotions and feelings is quite difficult. Particularly in African households, but I think the only way that we can change that is by starting to have those difficult conversations with our parental figures. Oh, I'm getting emotional again. So I just want to take a moment for all the dads who had to become mums, the stepmoms who had to navigate that tricky tightrope of being friend but mother, but not all at the same time, for all the aunts and uncles who had to become carers without any warning, for any friend who has provided support and care for just another human being. Thank you all. For anyone who doesn't have the mother figure that they deserve in their life, you are absolutely valid and you are loved by so many people, and don't ever let that one person's opinion dampen who you are, and don't ever let them define what you can be. So I hope you all have a lovely day, and I will see you in my next video. Promise, back to cooking next week. Bye.